Do you keep a bit of an eye on our league? There's been arguments pro. There's been argument for and against. Some say the league is very attractive. Others opine differently. How do you see our league?
Well, I think the two different opinions. There is a bit of truth in both, and I think, unfortunately, a very large dose of ego and lack of humility to mix in between the two. The fact of the matter is, I've been on record over the years as stating that the development of the local league has been lacking. I'm not going to change that in any way at all. I think that when you go down to the junior league levels and all the way up, they are lacking. And I just wish that some of our people would not take it so personally, because what you see is what you see. The ministry itself, over a period of time, has been ineffective. We all know that. Has been ineffective. And we have people who have been waiting for the development of sports under the sports bill. But I simply come down to simple issues. That if you have the right people in the right place, they can come together and understand that there's a collective responsibility for the development of the game. Yes, in my view, it does start with the FA. Yes, I would run the FA completely differently, because he knows that, and everybody knows that. If I was in that area, I would not run it in this way. I would be looking for a completely different level of transparency and independence from what is currently done. But that's me, and I'm not stating it today. I've been stating it since 2001, and I have not changed my tune. And I will not change my tune until I see those changes that require, at the end of the day, a large influx of money into the running of the domestic game, which I have shown is possible. That's the difference. Most people talk it, I showed it. And that's why I don't bend or back on that. But I think the ministry itself has to look inwardly at itself, because I've had my battles with the Ministry of Youth and Sports forever. It doesn't matter which person is the minister in there, not because I have nothing good to say, or I'm anti-NDC, or I'm anti-MPP. I'm just pro-football, I'm pro-sports, I'm pro-sports development. I actually don't care for the politicians, because I don't need to get re-elected on that basis. You know, if you don't like me, I go away with my money. If I have no money, you get rid of me anyway. So it's a different thing completely. And I really hope that we start understanding in the problems in the domestic game, in the image management of football in general, and then the image management and development of sports, that we need to start getting the right people in place who understand why they're elected and who they really serve, not themselves.
Our prime product is the Black Stars, but for some time now, the image of the Stars is dwindling. The love that people of Ghana had for the Black Stars is actually losing. What is the cause of this? And what can be done to revive the love and the passion, the image that we all have for our Black Stars?
Well, I don't know if the image has gone down. Sometimes the passion goes down. You know, at the end of the day, we all love the Black Stars. At the end of the day, there are players involved in the Black Stars who make us proud. And especially, even more so individually. I mean, when I sit down and I travel and I see what some of our boys are doing around the world and in Europe, it really makes me proud. You know, I feel proud every time there's a success of a Ghanaian. It doesn't matter in which way. When I see how well Andre and his brother are doing, because I spend a lot of time in the UK, I'm so proud. I'm just proud, and I occasionally send messages through third parties to say, look how proud I am. And there are smaller, lesser-known Ghanaians who are doing very well. To bring them together, to shine under the star that is Ghana, is another challenge. And I think it goes through cycles. The FA is not a popular institution, we all know that. But I don't think it is too difficult for Kwesi and Sani and the rest to turn around the image of what the FA can do for the Black Stars. I don't think so. The current kind of arguments that are going on at the moment do not help. They're all about image. And I think that these are things that will pass. I really do think there are things that will pass. We are in between World Cups. There is now a natural assumption that we will qualify. There's a natural assumption that we will reach group stages. There's a natural assumption once you reach a certain level. And therefore, when you don't, it seems to be a failure. I think that if those who are running the game start looking at what it is the general public want, I don't see it as a big deal. You have a product that people love. People love football. People are proud to see our own people playing. Maybe the packaging at the moment is not the way to go. And I think that if the emotions and passions, look at the amount of effort that is being thrown in to deal with each other, to insult one another, to take on one another. If they would use some of that emotion to develop the game, forget about it. You can't please everybody. And actually turn around and say, what is it that we need to, at Football Ghana, make sure that its image is so clean, so beautiful, that the kind of commentary that comes out is just positive. When it is negative, it is debate, it is not insult. Then that changes an awful lot. So it works on both sides, but I certainly think that the image of the custodians of power needs to change.
Mr. Herbert Mensah, as we speak now, there is a standoff between the GFA and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. To an extent that even the GFA president could brand or term the Minister of Youth and Sports as a serial caller. I mean...
That's the point I'm making, that it's titillating. If two big men or two beautiful women strip naked and start fighting, nobody cares. Look, I once attended a function with a former president of Ghana in South Africa with the ANC. And that particular former president was so upset about something going on in his country that he was shouting loudly. And the Secretary General of the ANC came to me to say, please ask him to stop because we don't understand what he's saying. You need to really calm down because all we hear now is the insults. We hear the serial caller. The fact of what is going on is lost on people. People are taking sides if they like the FA or whatever. Those who don't like them, those who go back to the different things that have been going wrong in the FA, take it. The minister sets up, or friends of his set up friends of Neil Ante van der Poel, and you now got people who have got extreme views. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about what is in the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian. And I think that when you are big enough, you really need to calm down and find a solution to what is going on. Make sure the structures are put in place and make sure that people understand that their egos need to be better managed because it's unlike we in lesser sports that you've got 22 federations taking a position. If it is that Kwesi, who I know very, very well, I've had my ups and downs with Kwesi. I like Kwesi. I've had my ups and downs on issues which remain. If I see Kwesi, I'm very happy to see him because I don't have any particular problem. But I do have lots of problems with the way that he runs Ghana football. The Minister of Youth and Sports, I have a historical issues with Neil Ante that go over a period of time. But I have to be very careful once he is in certain positions in terms of how we position ourselves. And I think both parties need to move away from leaked documents, intense of angst, as well as abuse. Because all it does is that it lets us, the general public, look at them and have the feeling that, football is in the wrong hands. The Ministry of Youth and Sports may also be in the wrong hands. There's no winner in this. And if really people are interested in what is best for Ghana football and for Ghana sports, then there needs to be leaders. I'm tired, my brother, of committee meeting. It has been the characteristic of Ghana for the last 15 years, and it has not necessarily served us. Anybody with a nice suit goes to the meeting and represents. What does that mean? Why don't we get leaders, individual leaders who can turn around, where a lot of stuff that I do in leadership is not done in open forum. It's not done in public. It's done in private. You eat a little bit of humility is eaten. You move in another way, and you now look for ways to move forward. If the interest of the game is at heart, then you can take those positions without being personal. You can give up a little bit of ego in order that the sport benefits in a much different way. I'm driving the development of the Super Rugby League right now in West Africa. And with one or two hiccups yesterday, I'm able to pick up the phone and speak to President Edward Poe of Nigeria and President Modeste of Togo, rugby this is. And within 30 minutes, MOUs are signed via cyber and sent to one another. You know, you can resolve it. There are one or two issues you resolve. Respect is there. You don't have to like each other. This is what I keep telling people. And I really hope that we as Ghanaians start developing to the point where, you know something, I don't even like you, but you know something, we're working together. And therefore, that takes a greater precedence over ego, and I'm in this position, and therefore I can say what I want, I can insult how I want. Because at that point in time, it means we are not fit for office. We've forgotten that we are no longer serving the people itself. And I've seen a number of things going on. I mean, occasionally I send inboxes to Sani. Sometimes he replies. Recently he has not been replying. But I do send it on just to give advice. Sometimes in support, sometimes not in support. You know, I don't owe anybody anything because nobody's put food on my table. I've never taken a government contract in my life. I've never sought a public position in my life. So I'm free to say what it is I want. And if that is respected at some point, fine. If it is not, they don't have to. I don't mind. It's not a big deal. But the integrity of their positions, which is matched by the utterances that come from their mouths, they should go and Google and see which other sporting institutions that they think they are in comparison with and see how it is that the officers there also operate.